Hey there, welcome back to my living room. It's Maria, the self-care coach, and now I'm here to talk to you about how we do self-care. This is such a broad and vast topic. It's hard to know where to begin, but I want to talk to you about self-care in three ways. I like to break self-care down into these three constructs so that it's easier to digest and easier to manage. I think of self-care as mind care, body care, and spirit care. And first of all, I want to dispel the myth. Self-care is not expensive. Self-care is not luxurious. Self-care is necessary, it's mandatory, and what it costs us is our time, and what it pays us back in is self-love, understanding, appreciation, grace, gratitude, good feeling, positivity, positive self-image, concern for others, the ability to give back. So what we spend, to do like real practical self-care, what we spend is our time, and what we get back are all of these things. And we get back more time, because when you are not spending all of your time thinking crazy thoughts about yourself, trust me when I tell you, you will have more time and you will have more energy. Super powerful. So mind care, body care, spirit care. Most of what I think of as being self-care is something that sort of happens behind closed doors. It's not something that's super public. It's interesting to teach about it because, like, do I bring my phone into the bathroom with me when I do my dry brushing and like my body oiling? How does that look? But I like to think of those three domains because they help my brain categorize it to make sure I'm taking care of all of the things. Because if you're only taking care of body, making sure you eat well, you do your self-oiled massage, you exercise, you could still be missing out on a big giant piece if your mind is really stressed out, or if you're not feeling like you're spiritually connected or working on that spiritual relationship that's important to you. So I break it into those three categories, and I'll give you some examples of some of my favorite self-care. So journaling, and that applies across at least two of those domains. Being physically active. It can look so different depending on who you are. It does not need to look the same. For me, physical activity is kind of mild. I love to go for long walks. I love to go hiking. I love to do yoga. I love to swim. That's some things that make me feel really great. Other examples of self-care: simple, basic morning routine, structure for your day. This is huge. Creating routine, creating ritual. This is something I help my clients with all the time. We can really calm a lot of anxiety by giving ourselves predictable routines. I'm not saying they have to be boring, because they can be really fun, really exciting things that we really enjoy doing, and they can be flexible, but having some structure built into our mornings and our evenings especially is so calming. It's really, really good. Also, we do lots of mirror work in our self-care coaching. We do meditation. Huge. Meditation is so huge. I can't, there's a lot more coming from me on meditation. And awareness of how we talk to ourselves. How do I talk to myself? How do I talk to others? So self-care to me also means thinking about what I'm thinking about. Metacognition, really being present, being aware, being mindful. More self-care. There's so much of it. Oh, there's so many great restorative yoga postures that help to cool us and calm us and nourish our systems at the end of the day. And then there's different ways to look at eating seasonally, eating foods that agree with you. And my favorite part of self-care is connecting with your purpose and sort of taking it one step further. The way I see self-care is it's this returning to a sense of wholeness, a sense of well-being. Like, how do I bring myself back? And I truly believe that every individual has the power to awaken their own spark, the power to heal themselves, the power to feel really good and like be the master of their destiny. So self-care and these practices that I'm talking about, maybe it's reading something spiritual every day, maybe it's journaling, so on and so forth, whatever that is for you, or whatever many things they are for you. Then we have this vessel that's like cared for and feeling good and happy and clear. And then we take this vessel and we do awesome work. We do our work. We play out, like I talked about in the last video, we play out our song, our piece in the symphony. and we really let our light shine. So how we do self-care will look different for every single body. When I am sitting down with a client, I ask a ton of questions because I want to understand what makes them feel good. What do they enjoy doing? What don't they enjoy doing? Where do they feel like they're lacking in their self-care? So basically, the long answer is self-care, or the short answer rather, is that self-care looks very different depending on who you are and what you need, depending on where you are and where you want to go. If you're overwhelmed and going to calm, it's going to look different than if you're calm and going to super duper shine my light. I've got this idea for a business, etc., etc. So self-care will meet you wherever you are on that journey. And that's one of my favorite things to do, is really help people tailor their self-care to meet their needs, whatever it is they're working on. But how self-care is done, there's no one right way, there's no one right answer. But what I will say to like demystifies all of this is self-care is not expensive. It's not going on a retreat for a week. It shouldn't be something that takes you out of your life. Sure, those things are wonderful, and if it's available to you, do it. But what I'm more interested in when it comes to self-care is, how do I integrate it in my everyday? How do I change the way that I live? So my story is that what brought me to this was illness. And illness started, it presented itself physically, but it started in my mind. It started in my thinking, and then it overlapped into my emotions. I didn't feel good because I wasn't thinking thoughts that felt good. And then my body caught up. It caught up to speed with what I was projecting, what I was putting out there from my thoughts. And self-care for me was really a return to a slower way to live. Basically, I learned a bunch of self-care techniques, and then I learned that if I didn't do them and if I didn't make them part of my life, they wouldn't benefit me at all. So to me, how we do self-care is part of our everyday. It's just becoming a habit. It's like adopting a new way to live, a new way to be, a new way to think. And it's super exciting. This journey is super exciting because you start making these changes and they're small and you don't think they're going to make a big difference. And then, wow, you look back over a couple months and say, like, my life is so different. I feel so different. My body looks different. That's been one of the really coolest things that my self-care journey has prompted, is like my body has physically changed in so many ways. It's so cool. And it was really just born out of learning to love it the way it was, and it shifted it. So anyway, those are some exciting things. I'm so glad you tuned in. If you found this video helpful, please like it and share it with anyone you think would benefit. And I look forward to seeing you on my next video, part 3 of this series, which is self-care what? So in that video, I'm going to talk about what self-care is, what it isn't, and what it looks like to work with a self-care coach. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon.